YouTube? This is Vargas recording live from the Vargas Vault with a comic book update. Now, we had to, me and the wife crossed the border last Friday. We just had to buy some stuff, and I was going to stop by to the comic book shop to pick up some stuff that I had there and clear out some stuff that I left behind last time I went. Because last time I didn't have that much money because I went to SeaWorld and, didn't have that much cash. But this time, cleared everything out. I'm going to talk about a couple of series that are going to end for me and a couple of series that I'm going to drop. So, as the months, continue, you're going to see the comic book videos maybe less frequently because I'm not going to pick up as many comic books. So, yeah. I've already explained why. So let's get started. First thing we got here is Phoenix Resurrection, The Return of Jean Grey, issue 3. With Jean Grey there. Then, I'll organize this better. Then we got Phoenix Resurrection, The Return of Jean Grey, Part 4. And Phoenix Resurrection, The Return of Jean Grey, Part 5. So, this whole series was built as a premise to bring back Jean Grey, the original adult Jean Grey, because there's a time-displaced younger version of Jean Grey running around, but Jean Grey has been dead for a number of years, and Marvel decided to bring her back. So now they got two Jean Greys running around. The teenage Jean Grey and the adult Jean Grey. So this whole thing was a setup to bring her back and have her, back into the Marvel Universe. And they'll launch another book, which I'm not going to get, unfortunately, because I just can't afford it. But they're going to release X-Men Red. So they got Blue, which is an X-Men team comprised of the time-displaced younger X-Men, along with Only Wolverine. You have X-Men Gold, which is a more traditional X-Men group with Storm, Nightcrawler, Colossus, Kitty Pryde, Old Man Logan, and some other characters. And now you have X-Men Red, which of course follows Jean Grey, and she forms her own team. But all in all, this Phoenix Resurrection thing, I was looking forward to it. I like the Phoenix Force. I like the concept of this fiery bird. And visually, it's very impressive to see Jean Grey, with the flaming fire thing. So I like the character or the concept of the Phoenix Force. And I always pick up anything to do with the Phoenix because I like the character. And this unfortunately was kind of weird because it's the return of the Phoenix, but it turns out Jean Grey was already alive. She was living, I think, in Arizona in this world created by the Phoenix to keep Jean Grey busy, but the X-Men eventually find her, and she doesn't know what's going on, but then when they break the spell, the Phoenix comes to Jean Grey, and she's like, you know what, you always do this to me, you always bring me back, then kill me, then back, then kill me, then back, then kill me, and I'm basically through with you, find someone else, peace out, I'm out. And the Phoenix is like, later, and leaves, and so Jean Grey's back. So it was very weird. It structurally is very weird because it focuses on the things that are happening in the world with the Phoenix, and then they went to this world created by the Phoenix for Jean Grey. So story-wise, it didn't make much sense, and then the ending was kind of anticlimactic. There was no really epic battle, just Jean Grey talking to the Phoenix, and Phoenix being like, I'm out, and then leave. So I'm kind of disappointed with this book. So yeah, that's the thing. Picked up Dark Knight's Metal, issue 5. This is a 6-issue miniseries with a couple of tie-ins with the Batman Who Laughs there. Basically, there's this multiverse of evil. There's evil versions of the superheroes, more specifically evil versions of Batman. So you have a Doomsday Batman, you have a God of War Batman, you have a Joker Batman. They're all Bruce Wayne, but they, through different circumstances, the God of War Batman put on the helmet of Ares and became the new God of War. And in the Doomsday one, Superman went rogue and Batman injected himself with the Doomsday virus and became Doomsday and therefore evil. In this one, the Joker destroyed Batman and he became a Joker himself. So there's this whole multiverse of evil versions, not the what was it called, the Crime Syndicate, that they would have like Ultraman and Owlman and stuff like this. This is like something way darker, and the Justice League have to fight this these evil versions of Batman, and they're losing bad. So really like this. There's 2 more books to go. There's one more one-shot, which I'm probably gonna get, and then the final issue that wraps everything up. But this has been really good. I'm really liking Dark Knight Metal by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. Then picked up Old Man Logan, issue 33, where the Hand, once again under control of Gorgon, which was this guy that if he looked at you, he turned into stone. They got killed years ago by 616 Wolverine, but then brought back, and he found out there's a Wolverine running around, which is Old Man Logan, and basically goes on a mission to destroy him. And to do that, he resurrects Mariko, which was Wolverine's love. Well, one of many Wolverines' love. And resurrects her as the Scarlet Samurai. And he gives her this sword that's like an energy sword, and she's able to cut Wolverine's hand right off. Adamantium and all. So he's really messed up in this storyline. His hand grows back, but it's no longer covered with adamantium. So his claws are not bone claws. So Old Man Logan is in pretty bad shape. And that continues in issue 34, where now him and the resurrected Mariko have to stop the Hand from using this drug, which basically gives people healing factors. So it seems to me that they're building up to the death of Old Man Logan, because 616 Wolverine, damn, I can't talk today, is back. He has an Infinity Gem, whatever. So I think it's building up to they're going to kill off Old Man Logan, because he already left X-Men Gold. So we have All New Wolverine issue 29, which I've mentioned this before. I've praised this book so much because I personally like the fact that they've made X-23 Laura a legacy character, continuing the mantle of Wolverine, who died but is now back. And this continues the Orphans of X storyline, where it's this group of people. They already kind of did this before with the Red Hand. That was a group of people affected by Wolverine that banded together to kill him off. And then they send him to hell and a whole bunch of stuff. This is a similar group, but they're going all out. They have infiltrated the Hand. They've infiltrated the government. And they want to wipe out anything to do with Wolverine. Old Man Logan, Sabretooth, Lady Deathstrike, X-23, Honey Badger, Daken, basically anything that has to do with Wolverine. But in issue 30, which is this one, Laura's like, I suffered the same shit you guys did. I was turned into a weapon. I was forced to kill people. I'm as much of a victim as you guys, so I want to join you. So what I'll do is that I'll hunt down the people that are truly responsible for this. Not Wolverine and not his legacy, like the people that really are responsible for all this grief. And they're like, all right, cool, we agreed to that. So that issue ends, and everything's hunky-dory. But it's cool to see the two sons, the son and daughter of Wolverine, running around. It's going to be interesting to see how they react to a resurrected Wolverine. And we got X-Men Gold issue 18. If I stutter or I lose my breath, I'm feeling kind of under the weather. I think I might be coming down with a cold, and that affects my lungs, so I apologize for that. X-Men Gold issue 18. The Negative Zone War. This situation is happening in the Negative Zone that has caused the war, so the X-Men, of course, have to intercede. Issue 19, the main bad guy is able to resurrect Negative Zone God, and the X-Men team have to stop him, and they do. And it all ends in issue 20, where after defeating the God, they are separated in this barren wasteland, and they have to find each other and survive. It looks like Colossus got the worst of it, and he survives, thankfully. and Kitty Pryde's like, I don't want to lose you again. Will you marry me? So it leaves on a proposal that Colossus and Kitty Pryde are going to get married, apparently in issue 30. Which you would think I would be excited about, but I'm not, because it's a comic book wedding, and those tend to end in disaster. Like, there's no happy marriages in comic books, except Superman and Lois Lane. And we continue the storyline with issue 21, this time bringing back the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants with Mesmero, Avalanche, and Pyro, who I thought had died from the Legacy virus, but there's a Pyro here, so I don't know what's going on there. So, yeah. But in this issue, this is the issue where Old Man Logan leaves because he wants to take care of some personal stuff, which, again, leads me to believe they might off him. Picked up Star Wars issue 40, which this will be my final issue of Star Wars. I am dropping the series. I dropped Simpson Comics already. Decided to just pick this one up because it's nice issue 40, which was not the brightest idea on my part because this is part 3 of a 5-part storyline. So 41 and 42 are going to be the conclusions, but I had to drop another title. Simpsons Comics was one. Star Wars was another one, so that sucks. Picked up issue 2, and issue 3 of Batman and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Part 2. It's basically Bane travels to the universe of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, takes over the Foot Clan, and he's running amok on their universe. So they have to, bring everyone together and try to stop Bane and the Foot Clan. So that's pretty cool that they remembered that Bane is like a brilliant mind, not just a brute with super strength. So this combination is pretty awesome, actually, the way that the Foot Clan is working off Bane and him through them. And it's actually a threat to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Batman. So like this a lot, like this quite a bit. Picked up Doomsday Clock, issue 3 of 12. Again, while I like the concept that they're setting up, the fact that they're charging $5 for a very, very thin comic book is not cool, DC. I like the fact that their books are usually well priced. This is not. This is ridiculous that they're charging $5 for very little pages of story, and that so far is going really, really slow. But I'm still gonna pick it up. I'm interested in seeing what they do with the whole Dr. Manhattan thing and the DC universe. Now this one I was excited to get. I mentioned this on Facebook. It's kind of pricey, $8. Well, I get a discount from the comic book store, and I doubt it's 80 pages, honestly. But it's supposedly an 80-page giant. Maybe with ads, it's 80 pages. But I remember DC a couple of years ago released 80-page giants. They were like this thick. This is like not that thick. But it's Swamp Thing, and I love Swamp Thing. I bought the first couple of issues of the new John Constantine comic book because it had Swamp Thing in it. And then he left, and I dropped that book. But I like Swamp Thing. I really, really like Swamp Thing. I like the concept of them. I watched the 2 movies and liked the 2 movies. I watched the TV show, watched the cartoon. I wish I would have been able to get some of those action figures because they were super sweet. In the New 52, Swamp Thing was amazing. So it's really, really cool. And this is a really, really good special. It has two stories of Swamp Thing. One where Swamp Thing is protecting this small kid from a monster. He says there's a monster after him, which is really, really cool. I won't spoil it for anyone, but if you can read it. It's really, really cool. And then they have another one which doesn't have any dialogue at all, like no dialogue. It's just Kelly Jones's work on a proposed first issue for a monthly series that Lee Wayne was gonna write, but then he passed away. So it's like a tribute to him. They released this book, and it's really, really cool. I really, really like the artwork on both those stories. Kelly Jones is amazing. He fits so well with Swamp Thing, So this is a really, really good. It's pricey. It's $8 if you can get it cheaper through a comic book store membership thing like I do. Buy it. It's freaking sweet. I freaking love this. Picked up Action Comics $9.94. This one's cool because Superman travels back in time to see what happened with his father Jor-El, who became Mr. Oz, and Booster Gold tries to intercept him, and as you do with time travel, they kind of mess up the timeline, and Superman sees a possible Krypton where it didn't blow up, so he saw a life that he might have had, if he would have grown up in Krypton, and which is weird because he's all upset about that, but he has Lois and John, so I don't know, a moment he had there, but it's a very interesting look at a what if Krypton. Then in 995, they're still traveling in time. They go to Booster Gold's timeline, where he's considered a wanted criminal, and Superman has to help him out. And then they go in issue 996. They go even further into the future, where they encounter the son of General Zod. So 4 more issues to go before the big 1000th issue of Action Comics. Then picked up Superman 36, concluding the Apocalypse storyline. Darkseid is still dead, and the people of Apocalypse are trying to find a leader. Lex Luthor was their leader, but he was not doing a good enough job, so Superman interceded, helped them create their own destiny, and Luthor's like, I've done everything I can to be a good guy. I've saved this city. I saved those people of Metropolis. Of Apocalypse? What the hell more do you want from me? And Superman's like, I still don't trust you. And Lex Luthor's like, you know what? Basically, screw you. Takes off his shield because he had like an Iron Man suit with an S shield, and just takes it off. And I'm like, I'm done. Screw you. And Superman leaves, and Luthor's like happy. He's actually happy because now the burden of being a supposed good guy is out, and he can be evil again. So that was interesting. Then we got Superman issue 37. Tim Drake of the future travels back in time to try to kill Jonathan Kent, because he says he's going to cause an event that's going to destroy the world. And that continues in issue 38. Now, this was a crossover book, so it crossed over between Teen Titans and Super Sons, but I don't buy those, so I don't know how this actually concluded. Then we have Superman 39, which is a really nice issue. Superman and the Justice League take a couple of terminally ill kids to the Watchtower to give them a tour, and this was really cool. I really, really like this one quite a bit. It's really, really good. And issue 40, Superman issue 40, Superman and Superboy are celebrating the anniversary of the destruction of Krypton, and they encounter a planet that's also about to explode. So Superman's like, I want to prevent that from happening, so he takes Jonathan up to space. They go to the planet, like, you know what, your world's going to blow up, and in this planet, people are like, yeah, we know. And Superman's like, well, we got people evacuated, you have technology, you can get out of here, and like, nope. The people of the planet are like, nope. You know what, we believe in our religion, and if this is what our higher power wishes, then we're cool with it. And Superman's like, the hell are you doing? You're gonna kill off your entire race. And they're like, whatever. So they're like, we're gonna do something to save you. And they're, well, if you do that, you're criminals, because you're not allowing us to express our religion. So we're gonna kill you. So they have to run away, and then they encounter this one guy that, like the Jor-El of this planet, that's like, well, I don't want to see my planet blow up, so let's go save the world. So it's very, very interesting, story so far. Because there's a lot of people that would probably react that way. Then have Batman issue 39, which has, I don't know if it's the same guy, but there's this gentleman, or the gentleman, that is stuck in this world where there's like an endless horde of bad guys, and his lot in life is to fight them off forever. And I think he encountered them in the storyline in Action Comics, where Superman and Wonder Woman are stuck in this world, and they live 1,000 years there, and there's like a weird relationship between them. And Batman decides to do the same. Helps out Wonder Woman, who's you know going along because he wants to help this guy. And Batman and Wonder Woman are fighting off against this endless horde. And for a moment, being stuck in there for hundreds of years, Batman's like, well, I'm alone, you're alone. But he's like, no, you know what? Before they actually do anything, he's like, no. I mean, I did feel something, but I love Catwoman. I'm engaged to Catwoman, so no, I'm not gonna go with that. So that's what they do. And then in issue 40, it concludes it that where they go back to Earth, and like Batman's like, you know what? For a brief moment, I was almost tempted, but I didn't. And Wonder Woman and Catwoman's like, cool, thank you for that. So I like what's going on with Batman. I like the fact that Batman and Catwoman are a thing, and it's a very interesting dynamic that I hope sticks. But it being comic books, I know it won't. I know that maybe after the Watchmen thing, they're going to reset the universe, and that's a thing that's going to get destroyed. But that would suck, because I like Superman being married to Lois Lane, and the idea of Batman, having a stable relationship with Catwoman is awesome in my book. But that's just me. I know a lot of people that don't agree. I feel like Batman should be alone forever, and that's kind of depressing. But yeah, that was the comic book haul. Some really good issues. Like I said, you'll see much less. I know that Brian Michael Bendis is going to take over Superman eventually. So when that happens, Superman's out, because I really don't like how the writing of Brian Michael Bendis. I thought he was a really talented writer, but then he got lazy, his ego got too big, and his writing has not been good in my opinion. So once Brian Michael Bendis takes over Superman, I'm done with Superman. And Action Comics, I'm going to pick up. If Dan Jurgens sticks with the book, I'll keep Action Comics, but the original plan is to stick with it until issue 1000. If Brian Michael Bendis writes Superman and Action Comics, then I'm dropping Superman completely, because I can't stand the guy. Nothing personal on him. He seems like an okay guy, but his writing is just not good. And I'm still debating which one of the two X-Men books I'm going to drop, whether Gold or Astonishing. But Astonishing has that whole Protheus thing going, so I want to see how that plays out. And X-Men Gold has the whole wedding thing between Colossus and Kitty Pryde, so that might be a thing. So yeah, I don't know. I'll figure it out. Like anything, when I do a collection pickup video, I like to recommend the standout things of the haul. I'm going to recommend Batman. These two stories, this 2-issue story was pretty cool, and the artwork's also pretty cool. But the one I'm definitely going to recommend, if you can get it cheap and support Swamp Thing, pick up the Swamp Thing Winter Special. It's a nice tribute to Lane Wayne, creator of Swamp Thing and Wolverine. It's just really, really cool. I hope this does really well, because if DC sees an interest for Swamp Thing, they're going to release more stuff. And that is cool, because he has popped up in a couple of things. He popped up in the new DC Universe animated series and in Justice League Dark. So there's the seed is, no pun intended, because it's Swamp Thing, but the seed is there for him to explode and become big again, which he was in New 52. So I don't know why they haven't continued that, because Swamp Thing is awesome. So yeah, that was the comic book pickup video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Please leave a comment, thumbs up, anything you like that. It's in the description box, but follow me on Facebook and on Twitter. I usually post collection stuff whenever I can. So yeah, you'll see my ugly mug for a couple of more videos. So thanks so much for watching, guys. And until I see you all again, this was Vargas. in the Vargas Vault. Thanking you all and signing out.